Out there in front of people looking bad. TV, yeah, I get a little nervous in front of that. Sometimes I'm pushing words. You know what I mean? I don't know if you guys watch movies. I'm on TV all the time on VHS. You know, I don't know how that. One more thing. Oh, you're fine. Go ahead. Okay, every first Wednesday of the month, they send some nurses down there to do blood pressures, you know, on our vets. So they took my picture one time, and then it ended up on TV. Then it ended up on the paid billboards. Then it was on YouTube. This one I didn't like. I go on the obituaries every day. I don't get the paper. And guess what? There's the obituaries there to the right of it. Is me with looking at the nurse. They do line. How they do that. Yeah, you know. But anyway.
Well, big round of applause for Joe. Thank you so much for being here. And as Joe mentioned, our company continue putting in these non-perishable food items. That will continue throughout the summer. So anything that you can bring is greatly appreciated. And I really appreciate you taking so much of your time. Thank you so much.
Okay, sir. One more thing, sir. If you guys want to put down and check the operation out, okay, don't get in line. There may not be a side door that says visitors going next to them. And I'll show you, I'll show you the. You go in there, then you got to fight the doctor.
Make sure you bring your Yeah. All right, folks. So we'll get back. You're very welcome, Joe. Pleasure to have you. You're welcome anytime. Thank you. So we're going to get back into our normal rhythm for this evening. But before we do that, I know Mr. Vincent wanted to share his thoughts on one of our North Utica Neighborhood Association members who was recently passed away. So I'll pass it over to Mr. Vincent for that. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. People here remember me when I used to run the meetings here. And a lot of these faces look familiar. I've seen you around for years. But one person that I wanted to acknowledge tonight came to our meetings for years and years. He passed away 3 weeks ago. Now, would everybody would please rise and we'll just give a moment of silence to Russell Brooks, our fire chief and a good friend. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ron. I appreciate that. Many of you remember Chief Brooks. And please, on your way out, if you haven't already, we do have a sympathy card for Mary Ann Brooks. Please feel free to sign that and share your condolences with her. So that would be much appreciated. All right, Officer Don Savan, I believe you are up. And then Mr. Beatrice, you'll be on deck. There you are.
What? What? I can't hear you.
Where do I start here? All right, usually I'm first. So we had about 122 calls for service within a week. It was low, which is good. I know you asked about a couple calls. Yeah, there's a few of them, but one I wanted to touch upon was I think it was a shots fired. It was a reported shots fired, but our patrol unit ended up stopping 2 juveniles, and they ended up catching them with CO2 cartridges, BB gun, and stuff like that. Also, just to let you guys know that like around this time, it's everyone's selling fireworks. We got 4th of July next month, so you guys are going to be, a lot of people are going to be calling in because they think they hear shots fired, and a lot of times it is fireworks. But I mean, it's always good to call. Better safe than sorry, because I mean there have been times where we had shootings and some people thought it was fireworks, and we get there it was found shell casings and stuff like that. So Definitely call us whenever you guys, hear, in fireworks or something similar to shots fired or whatever. What else here? I know there was an issue on Rose Clear. Joe and I were talking about it. The aggressor wasn't on scene by the time police arrived, so they submitted it for a warrant. I know we've been having a lot of issues with a few properties out there. Sometimes it's all it takes is just one neighbor to ruin the whole block. So, but other than that, I don't have anything else for you guys. But just like I said, just be mindful with the fireworks and stuff. Next, we're starting to sell them, and next month is July 4th. So. Any other questions or concerns? Yeah. Yep.
So, and as Jimmy said, that shots fired incident that happened on Riverside Drive actually resulted into a follow-up investigation, and the subsequent juvenile individuals were apprehended. It happened at approximately 190 Riverside Drive, right there on the corner, almost Utica Road area, where they shot out a window with those CO2 cartridge BBs. So, even though it's not a firearm per se, it's still a very dangerous thing, and certainly not something that you would want to affect your children or your pets or damage your home. So very, very, very serious thing. So I appreciate you back briefing us on that, letting us know. All right, I would like to have our Ward 6 City Councilman, Mr. Joseph Beatrice, come on up. He's got a couple words for us tonight, and I know he's got some other obligations, so I want to make sure he has some time to speak with us.
Appreciate it. Good evening, everybody. Thanks for having me. I do want to tell you, month of July's meeting, I will not be here. I'll be away on vacation. You guys all have my number. Feel free to call me anything before. Second, I want to thank Ron. I was going to basically have a moment of silence for Mr. Brooks, but I also have a moment of silence for a dear friend of mine who's in this room who lost his sister to a courageous battle with ALS yesterday, Mr. Dick Briggs. So if we could, again, nod our heads for both of those people. Quick prayer. Those two, Mr. Briggs, Mr. Brooks, they've been very instrumental to the North Utica neighborhood meeting. So thank you on that. Getting back to a couple things. Paving. You guys been hearing a lot of stuff on paving. Actually, kind of was a surprise to me. I guess my district got 18 out of 34 streets being paved this time. So I guess everybody's upset about that. I'm pretty happy about it. It's not all 18 in North Utica. There's some in the lower end of East Utica. I kind of see it pretty funny because nobody felt bad for me in the other 4 years when the other administration was there and I was getting 2 streets done or 1 street done, or they took them away from me because I spearheaded turning Genesee Street back to 4 lanes. So I got punished, but I guess now we have a lot of streets getting done. So that's a good thing for us. And please remember, over the course of the year, you have your street, you want something done on it, email me, let me know, because that's how it works. In January, I have a list. I sent it to the engineering department of stuff I needed. I didn't do anything different this year that I didn't do the other 3 or 4 years. But, you know, the old expression, the squeaky wheel gets the grease. So, not bothering me, that's what I'm here for. You call me anytime. I tell you all the time, Mr. Velarde, he'll vouch for it. Anything you want. I can't always guarantee you, but I'll help you. I'll try to do the best I can for you. I'll be there for you. That's all I can say. Weaver Cemetery. I don't know if anybody's gone by there in the last couple days. I've been out there. I got new signs put up on it. I've gone there twice in the last 3 or 4 weeks with, I don't know if I should even say this, but with weed killer to kill all the weeds around it, so you guys can see what's in there. It's not a real lot, but it's 100% better than it ever was.
Absolutely.
So, you know, Steve, we got to try to work on It's one of those solar light poles, and Councilman Williamson, right? I remember the day we put it up, we wanted to keep it one tier lower. He's a big, he wanted it up as big and high as possible. So the bottom of the pole is not bent, but the top part's bent. But it's wedged there to the point where you can't lower the base to drop the pole down. So we got to find a way to get that done. And when that happens, I will call Bo or anybody who knows about flags, and I'm personally going to donate the 2 new flags because they've been up there for a year and are getting wore out. And, other than that, I should have wrote some notes down, but I don't have my head together tonight here. So, what else can I say? You guys got questions about anything?
Anything on the 4th of July?
4th of July parade is what's his name there? He does the guy. Vincent Scalise. There'll be a parade. It'll be on the actual 4th of July day. I plan on participating in that. And that's basically it's kind of quiet right now with stuff going on. Yeah,
I don't have a question, but I want to compliment you.
Thank you.
The culvert at the bottom of Locust Drive Hill, as I've talked to you about getting it cleaned out before. Well, Stephanie works.
Best.
She came through. She had it dug out as far as the budget would let her dig.
Right.
Cleared it out. She told me that they're coming back next year to come from the other side and clear it out on the other side. And they planted grass in the area. And they've got a neighbor that lives up by there that's mowing it.
Yeah.
And stuff. So
Hey, I actually came out that way and went up the 40 minutes ago. Route 12 there.
Mhm.
They actually cleared it out in that area too over there.
They cleaned out a lot.
And they also off of Herkimer Road, they put all new fencing and cleaned the one by D-Lane Drive, and they cleaned that one out too. So they are fun. They are, believe it or not, it's so far past, but that 2019 Halloween storm was kind of a blessing in disguise for all of us, because they did that stuff and they are following up on it to the best of their ability. I think things are going, pretty good.
They're doing what they can do.
Yeah.
With what they
Yeah.
got.
And the
I know
weather
I
is
made a
just-
statement earlier in the year that, we should forego raises except for Stephanie. She stepped up over.
Yeah, she's very excellent.
You need to keep her.
Yeah. If I have my way, I will, but I don't, yeah.
She's a bullseye.
You gotta hope she doesn't want to go on her own. She's a young girl, and
Oh, yeah.
she'll probably look to advance,
She'll make money if she goes out.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yep, she does a good job. I feel like I got a couple things and I can't get to them. Oh, that's it too. That's one. That's the other thing, the parks department. I didn't even have to ask for this. That's how it is with them though, especially when the head of the parks department's your friend. It's almost harder to get stuff done because they know you're their friend, but they did it for me. And I didn't even ask. It was supposed to be done 2-3 years ago. The big island coming into North Utica. If you've seen that, they pulled all those plants up, and it's not done yet. In the back there where it's all dirt, that's going to be all planted with flowers and stuff. That looks great with there. Oh, I know what I'm talking. I know what I am talking about. The traffic, the lights on North Genesee Street. Okay, so just a couple of things. Number one, when you're coming off the Thruway and 790, that right after the Boilermaker, that whole ramp is going to be closed. They're going to be redoing that. It's going to be closed for I think 31 days or 28 days. That's why those lights are there. The lights are so when you come off 790, you're not going to be able to come off and take a right and go on North Genesee. You're going to go up over the bridge the way you would go south, and you're going to turn that way there. You're going to be You're going to be asked to get off way before the Red Roof Inn on 790. I was almost hoping, I went to the meeting last week, I would have liked to see them, they were going to do that, close it so no traffic goes to Leland Ave. But that's not going to happen. So there's a lot going on. The 2 bridges, the Barge Canal Bridge and the Mohawk River Bridge, in the next year and a half will be replaced. There's a lot of stuff going on in that area there. So that's why that's there. So I just wanted to let you know. They are aware. I know the question that everybody talks about. They realize that when you come up, over the bridge if you're going south, or if you're going north, where that light is, like if you turn right now, you're going south and you turn into Wendy's, you always got, cars come flying over that bridge, they're right there. So we made a point to make sure that going south on North Tennessee, when the light is there, that there's lights before you go up telling you that there's going to be a light there, so you don't come up over the bridge and there's a line of traffic there. So in the end, there's a task force going on. For you guys, I'll try to remind you when I come, but I think last week was one of 3 meetings, did they say, or 4 meetings in the next year. They're publicized, they're open to the public. They're actually kind of cool. You go there and like almost play like a game. They do it on your phone and they ask you questions, what you think, and stuff like that, and they're getting the input from the public, which I thought was pretty good. So that's what I want to say. Yes.
If I could, I'd like to publicly thank you for all.
I haven't done anything yet, but I get it.
I just want to let everybody know, I've never publicly thanked anybody in public office before you. But if everybody had the same heart that you had in public office, this would be a lot better off.
Yeah.
I just want to let everybody know that.
Mr. Velarde's in it. Mr. Velarde's in on. Now, just thank you.
I live in a.
And guess what? He didn't even when I was running for office, he didn't let me put a sign on the yard.
No, but I promise you, See, I write a magazine, Greater Utica, some of you may have heard of it. And I try to stay as spiritual as I can, and I won't publicly endorse anybody. But I have promised him I will let him put a sign on my front lawn.
Mr. Velarde, and I'll just tell you this right now, and I kind of learned a little bit about this too. He owns a house. It's a beautiful house. He's probably put $200,000 into his house. He's got an old garage, okay? The garage is falling apart. Wants to take it down, wants to make it the same width, but he wants it longer in the back because he owns a large yard in the back. So number one, they made him go through zoning, which was a piece of cake, okay? I kept telling him that. You got to do that. No matter what, you got to go through zoning. Actually, so he's also, Herkimer Road is also in what they call scenic and historic, okay? All right, so now there's 2 houses from the beginning of Herkimer Road to the end of Herkimer Road that are actually a scenic and historic house. One is the church and one is the Weaver house that's falling down, okay? George Weaver. Yeah, okay. The rest of the houses, if you drive down Herkimer Road, number one, there's a lot of older houses that are falling down, they're in disarray. And you got to see what they're making this kid do to do what's going. Tonight was the, you don't mind if I tell them, right?
No.
Tonight was the icing on the cake. There's a 5-member board, okay? So it's got to be a majority. So if it's 3-2, it's fine. Well, guess what? All of a sudden, after he waited, couldn't go to the Scenic and Historic Board meeting until he went to the zoning meeting, okay? So now we go to the zoning meeting last month, so we waited a whole month. Go to the zoning board meeting last week, we get that passed for him. Now we go tonight. What do you think happens tonight? So out of 5 people, 2 people on the board don't show up. So now there's 3 people there. So now it's got to be unanimous. Okay? He's got everything there, and it's going to happen, and it's going to happen a lot sooner than 2 weeks after tonight. And the worst part of the whole thing is, so I go as a council person. I'm useless to go there. They don't even let me speak. You can't even speak. It's my district. I can't tell them that he should, speak in his behalf. It was very disheartening. I did kind of speak, not supposed to, but I did.
He spoke anyway.
Yeah, I spoke anyways because it was ridiculous at the end. So hopefully I talked to the mayor, he talked to the mayor, we should be in good shape. Hopefully the kid's getting married, he wants to have the garage done. I mean, he's putting a ton of money into a garage that's falling down. You got half them houses on Herkimer Road, not half, a lot of them that are in disarray, and this poor kid's got a battle for that. I got a problem with that.
He's getting married, he's gonna have that.
No, he's not, his son.
Okay.
So,
That's what it sounded like.
I know where you're going.
all right, you guys, thank you for everything. I'm gonna draw.
We had $76 in the kitty, so it's $38 to the winner.
512315. Did you win?
Right before me.
Draw again.
Yeah, go ahead, Drug. We don't count, no?
No, I'm trying to find it.
Five,
Like a little kid.
512-327.
You got it.
There you
Hey,
go.
there we go, excellent.
All right, you guys. So I won't
Congratulations.
be here. Yeah, okay. All right, thank you. All right.
Thank you.
All right, folks, big round of applause. Mr. Ward 6. All right, so I'd like to have Mr. Rick Flisnick. He's our county legislator for Ward 6, District 1. For those that are not familiar with the map, that's Buchanan Road West. So if you live on the west side of Buchanan Road, over into that Marcy area, that's where Mr. Flisnick is now our county legislator.
Well, you're fortunate you have two county legislators representing North Utica. I represent just sort of a sliver of North Utica, and Mike Gentile represents the rest of it. A couple issues, I'll be relatively quick. Joe, you're gonna help me out before you leave, because we're gonna talk about a topic. N.U.N.A Humane Society, that's topic number one. Recently, the contract came to Utica and 18 towns. It was 6 months late. Huge escalation in what they're requesting. Utica has decided, instead of going with the Humane Society, take care of the dogs that are strays or that need to be put down. You guys are going with Wanderers Rest, Joe, because you're going to save money instead of paying almost $1 million a year. That's my understanding. Go ahead.
So the Stevens County Humane Society gave them 2 years ago. We gave them $400,000. We gave them $250,000, I believe, this past year, and they haven't done a. I don't know the ins and outs. Stay right here, but I won't go around. They weren't very, very good to work with at all. They were very, very dishonest. I had a problem when I was, you guys remember, when I was always advocating, not against cats or anything like that, but the feral cat population, certain people had 20, 30 of them in yards. Next door to them, there were 60 people. We tried to get them to help us. They would never help us. They wouldn't speak, release. It just, and like I said, I don't really know all the total ends. I just do know I know our mayor. I know he tried to work how to deal with them, and it didn't happen. So now I believe what they have is an affordable kennel in the police, the animal control oversee it.
Yeah, that's not good for the,
And
it's just not good for the dog.
And if it's temporary until they have the spot in,
Wanderers Rest, Canastota.
But it's in Cooper, it's in, Canastota.
Yes.
So it's not something you're going there all the time.
You know, I think they only hold on,
Yeah, not
they put
just,
them on Facebook.
yeah, the police place, yes,
Yeah.
yes, until they can get them, yes, until they can either get them up there or get them.
Our county works with them then,
Nothing
our
to do with
city,
the city. Yeah, that's a city program. The city, the.
Wanderers Rest, huh?
Well, let me chime in and give you some additional information. You as county taxpayers have been giving money to N.U.N.A Humane Society 2020, 2022, 2023, 2024 at a tune of $100,000. Okay. We also give that same amount to Rome Humane Society. So the county and you taxpayers have anteed up to assist them with their financial needs. Now, we all understand there's escalation, inflation, what's gone on the last 3 years. But to come to the city and to come to 18 towns 6 months late with a contract, with an increase that was huge, a lot of legislators are not really pleased about that. So whether they get money from the county in 2025, it'll be hard for me to support that based on everything that has transpired in the last 12 months. I also got to tell you, we as a county, you as taxpayers, contract with Central New York SPCA. This is for investigations in animal cruelty within the county. Now, the Humane Society's advocated for this service years ago. We decided it was a service that was needed. We wanted to ante up and assist county residents and assist, obviously, municipalities with investigations. So just to let you know, in the last 5 years, we've spent almost $500,000 for this separate contract. And the reason I bring it up is I think the county, I can speak for myself, I believe we're doing our fair share. But again, I'm not really too pleased with the Humane Society based on what has transpired.
What was the amount of the requested increase?
Humane Society? It was, to my understanding, the past year for Utica, I know, was from 250,000 or 260 to $1 million. For towns, I represent Marcy, I represent Whitestown. We only need the Humane Society occasionally, not like Utica. We only have 12 dogs last year that needed the service. But the fact of the matter, they were 6 months late, and the escalation factor was pretty significant. Go ahead, Joe.
Just one thing I want to explain to you. When you hear that the city does not have a contract with Stevens Swine, that doesn't mean that you have a problem with your dog, if you can't bring your dog. That means that when the animal control picked up a loose dog or a loose cat and the city brought them there, us as taxpayers or everyday people, if you have a dog and you want the other reason you would go there, if you was a loose dog running around and you happen to get it, you could still use Stevens Swine. It's just the city is not contracted with them.
You're not still accepting dogs for animal control?
If you take a dog, Stevens Swine Humane Society or whatever, they're going to take it. If Utica's animal control people take it, they're not going there.
I had another, are you done now?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to comment that we're paying $150,000 to Onondaga County for investigations, right? If anyone suspects, we have to call the police station. There's a certain number.
There's a protocol.
For you to, right?
Oh, sure.
And then Onondaga County will investigate if they deem it necessary.
It's not Onondaga County. It's not Onondaga County. It's Central New York SPCA. It's a non-for-profit. It's not Onondaga.
I thought it was in Onondaga.
It is, but it's not ran by Onondaga.
No, I understand
Yeah,
that.
yeah, okay.
I understand
Yeah.
all that. That's from probably 3 or 4 years ago. There was a massive amount of people that went over to the county legislative chambers. And do you remember that? Were you there?
I've been there for 18 years. I can remember that. Yeah.
There were so many people there that showed up and said, and we all spoke, that we're interested, that we needed a county or a humane officer for Oneida County. And Herkimer County too, they wanted one, the sheriff. But the thing is, didn't go through, and Stephen Swan didn't want it at the time, and the sheriff's department didn't want it. We were trying to find someone that was well-trained to get into the agriculture markets laws and knowledgeable about all these things, experience.
So how did we do?
It never panned out.
How did we do though by going with Central New York SPCA? Do you think that was a good move?
How are they working out?
They are working out.
Good.
They are.
That's good to know.
We got off to a shady start because of
Yeah.
some internal things within SPCA, which I won't get into.
No.
But that being said, all the reports I've gotten has been very positive.
Good.
All right? So that's a good thing.
No.
Yeah. But again, my main point was just telling you that Oneida County has, and taxpayers have been paying, I believe, their fair share pertaining to this issue. So As far as next year, we're not sure what's going to happen with N.U.N.A or the Rome Humane Society. Some good news, I don't know if people have heard, Children's Museum is going to be opening up after several delays in December. I got a chance to tour the facility several months ago. They were waiting for some exhibits to be finished. It's going to be a tremendous asset for the whole community, especially our young ones. It's going to be great. The building's beautiful. A lot of money has been donated. The counties, we were generous also. We wanted behind that project. Last but not least, before I take any questions, last month we finally had an agreement and approved contract between our road patrol and dispatchers and the county. It went to the PBA and they voted in favor 107-2. This was a long time coming. It was at impasse. The contract was 3 years late. So this contract actually is going to be 8 years. It goes back 3 years, 5 years forward. It is, from what I know, I don't have all the in and outs right now about everything specific to the contract. It's generous, but we need to be generous to retain and recruit people to do those jobs. Our biggest issue in the last 3 years, as far as I'm concerned, is recruiting and retaining employees. Just like the issues in the business community, issues with the city. It's really competitive. It's hard retaining and recruiting. And quite honestly, you got to have the benefits and you got to have the escalation in salaries. So it's going to be very costly, but we need the road patrol and we need the dispatchers at 911 to dispatch in case of emergency. So this finally got settled. This is a positive thing, and it's going to cost some money. I asked a question how much it would cost, and they don't know exactly at this point because there's different contracts, different levels, different starting dates. It's going to be in the millions in escalations. So I still think it's a good thing. Questions?
Based on that, Ron, did that fall into what the budget expectation was for the contract?
Well, you bring up a good point. We have money set aside anticipating an agreement which happened, and there is extra money, not extra money, money set aside. There's never extra money. It's your money. It's not the government's money. So I want to be clear about that. We're going to be fine. We're going to be so fine that our surplus for 2023, don't have the exact figures, should have had them by now, but I've been always advocating to put that surplus money towards our bonding, and I think that might actually be happening this year, which is good. I like paying off debt. If we have extra money, pay off debt, not take on new projects unless they're essential. And not all projects within the county, city, state, or federal are essential. So you got to pick and choose. Questions? Anybody? Everybody's happy?
Excellent. All right. Well, hey, thank you, Mr. Fliznik. I appreciate you being here. Appreciate the update. Thank you so much. So, last but certainly not least, we have some representatives with us tonight from Green Utica. Michelle McKenna, if you could, please come on up. And she'd like to discuss with you a little bit about the Green Utica program and why us folks up here in North Utica should care about it and why it's such a great thing.
Well, thank you. I'm really excited to be here tonight because I'm sure everybody here has heard of the Green Utica. You can hear. Everybody here has heard of the Green Utica garden tour. Is that right? Everybody's really excited about it. You haven't heard about it. Well, I'm here to tell you about it. So this year it is on August 10th from 10 to 3. Okay. And I know that North Utica has a lot of beautiful gardens that people would love to share. And I'm hoping that all of you know them, either own them or know of them, and will tell me of them, and I can approach those individuals to be on the tour on August 10th. And if you don't own one, then put it on your calendar. Okay, so this is the fourth annual garden tour, and last year we had about 300 people that visited the gardens, and we had about 80 to 90 gardens that were on the tour, and that was primarily in downtown Utica, South Utica, and East Utica. This year, we would love to get into North Utica and expand. And we expect, not all the 300 people go to every garden. It's, a self-guided tour. And not everybody you don't have to be there. People can just come and look, if you have a beautiful front yard, they can just stop by the front yard if you want to talk to them about the plants. I know as a gardener, I love to tell people about what plants I'm interested in. And most gardeners that are coming want to hear about it. So it's a free and self-guided tour. Any questions?
And can you say that time again? It's from what time to what time?
August 10th from 10 to 3.
10 to 3. Excellent. Thank you.
The maps are distributed at the Green Utica Parks Conservancy at the corner of Genesee and Memorial Parkway. And so you can pick them up there, starting at 10, and they'll also be available online.
Excellent. Anybody have any questions, or would you like to volunteer? I know I have just had the pleasure of touring our neighborhood with Mr. Rabarski, to hand out political flyers, and we have quite a few beautiful properties up here, and I think North Utica deserves to be represented with such a great citywide thing. We used to, down south when we did this, we used to call it the tour of homes. And, but I really love the concept. And I will say this, I would never ask you guys to do something I'm not willing to do. So I will be the first person to volunteer in North Utica.
Wonderful.
And of course, many of you know, I have that historic property, which is 197 Riverside Drive. I have 2 acres of landscape property. So you're welcome to come and poke around, see what I got over there.
And here's a form for you.
Sure.
Look at this. I have all the forms right here. Waiting for everybody. Yes, sir. No, we haven't, it's the 4th annual. What we would like to do is to have a visitor's choice. So, you mark which one of your gardens were favorites, and then we would, have to put them out, on the Facebook page or on Green Utica's page. It's something that we would consider.
Are you on Facebook?
We had a Facebook page last year, the Green Utica. It was just kind of a, something that it's been deleted. Green Utica has a web page. So greenuticaparks.org, I think that's on the paper here.
So do you folks think that in lieu of the fact that they don't have a broader competition, maybe the North Utica Neighborhood Association with some volunteers, we could facilitate just a little questionnaire or card where y'all can vote on what gardens you like the best, and N.U.N.A would be more than happy to present an award to a winner up here in North Utica. If that's something that you would like to do or you would like to participate in, I don't speak for all of N.U.N.A, that's all of you guys, but if that's something you'd like to do, I'm more than happy to collaborate with Greens Utica, and then that's our way to kind of be stewards of this event and maybe help out and maybe create incentive and recognition for one of our fellow neighbors up here in North Utica that's just helping improve our community by having a beautiful landscape property that we all enjoy.
I'm sure that Green Utica would love to present an award and have it as a ceremony with you.
Excellent, thank you. So, questions, comments, concerns, volunteerism? Look, I'm 2 feet in, so I need some other people to join me on this endeavor.
I don't know if you guys have seen this out, but Buffalo Garden Tour has been going on for close on to 30 years now. And my husband and I went about 30 years ago. 6 years ago. And They have over 1,000 gardens on this tour. It's absolutely impossible to get to them all. It's very, very organized. They have, a huge map that they give out. They have buses that take people to different areas. It's really fantastic, and I would love to get into North Utica to expand.
Excellent.
Any other questions?
Great. Well, hey, thank you so much for being here.
Absolutely.
Round of applause.
Forms, and I'm gonna drop off a couple just of the informational forms for you.
And what we'll do is we'll scan those in and we'll make sure that we email everybody as well, so you can get them back to Greens Utica at your own leisure. But pick up a hard copy here tonight if you would like one. For example, my property there on 197 Riverside Drive is almost 2 acres, which again, as you're driving through North Utica, whether it's Herkimer Road or whether it's Riverside Drive, a lot of properties have expansive gardens that I don't think we can appreciate from the road front. So this event allows us to, be invited onto our neighbors' properties and kind of see some of the great creative things that they're doing. I know, like at my property here, I actually have an orchard in the back. Bunch of fruit trees, apricots, cherries, plums, all that kind of stuff. So you would never know that driving by. So again, that's why this parade of gardens is going to be such a fun event, especially if that's something that you're into. If you're part of the Master Gardeners Club, this is something definitely that you will enjoy. And then I think we'll bring some notoriety to some of these beautiful properties that we have up here in North Utica that we're so proud of. So, all right. Any other questions on Green Utica? I'm sure Michelle will be generous with her time and she'll stay a little bit later if you ask questions. Mr. Rabarsky, you have something from the back there? Oh, excellent. Thank you. Let me grab that. So the other thing that I have for you, and then I'll turn it over to the floor if you guys have any questions or comments or things that we missed. There will be a presidential debate watch party, and that's going to be hosted live, simulcast from that's Thursday, June 27th at 9 p.m. That's going to be hosted at Freedom Hall, which is 6th Cottage Place, right off of Genesee Street, right next to Munson Williams. There's going to be a mega screen projector. There's going to be some food and refreshments, and it's obviously nonpartisan. It's open to the public, so come and enjoy that opportunity. You get to meet some interesting your friends and your neighbors and some other citizens who may enjoy that experience with you. I just want to make you apprised of that. So that aside, I will open it to the floor. Does anybody have anything else to share? It's a good question, and I appreciate you being lighthearted about it. As much as the national media tries to portray the level of vitriol in the partisanism, I noticed that groups like ours, especially, we have events here that are bipartisan events. Like we do candidate forums on a regular basis for the school board or for our elected officials. And I think what matters to most of us is not the partisanism. It comes to what I call dinner table politics. How does it affect our lives, and how do we as a group make things better for everybody? So I would cage this idea in that context, but I appreciate your, yeah, exactly. So, anything else? Excellent. Well, thank you so much for joining us tonight. And as always, we're going to continue the North Utica Neighborhood Association meetings throughout the summer. I know not all of the other associations are going to do that. Some folks have asked us why we're continuing, and the reason is we have so much programming for you that we can't put it off, because then we're going to get into political season and we are going to do some candidate forums. So I want to make sure we get some of this programming out to you, folks. Just a couple more moments, and then I'll open the floor. So we want to get this programming out to you throughout the summer. It's also going to kind of allow members of the other neighborhood associations to kind of use this as a landing zone and benefit from that as well. Next month, July 22nd, we're going to have Oneida County Clerk Mary Finnegan, and we're going to have Newfound Construction and Remodeling to come and talk about some of the services that they perform. And I know they've done some beautiful work up here in North Utica. So as usual, we'll have our normal business, local business, and then we'll have a public official here to talk about some of the resources that you have access to as a citizen here in Oneida County. August 26th, We have Oneida Herkimer Solid Waste Authority, and then we have a discussion on the City of Utica recycling program. September 23rd, you have New York State Assembly candidates, Marianne Buttonshaw, Christina Esposito, and New York State Senate candidates, James Myers and Joseph Riffo. And I believe Mr. Myers is actually joining us tonight, so pick his brain after the meeting. I'm sure he'd be happy to speak with you. So anything that you would like to see on the agenda, or maybe any recommendation on a future business or presenter, please let us know. Just send that over to our official email. Obviously, we want these meetings to be as valuable and entertaining for you as possible, and so we look forward to continuing to program in as much fun and exciting things as we can. Mrs. Warden, go ahead.
I called them, well, they called me back, but I called them once, and I filled in some extra forms to the name, asking about this new surcharge of 3%, and the thing is, there was just a very small item a couple of months ago on the TV that did not apply, and quoting for aid, it does not apply to debit cards. Debit cards are your checking account cards.
Correct.
Okay? We have to clarify the difference because it's on charge cards, because they're charged the merchant. If they use some charge cards, they have to pay a fee back. But they're looking into this with the taxation department since I called. And she's called me 4 times, I missed her call. And she's looking into it, because it's not clear.
Janice, I would say, please capture this question. That seems like it's going to be a very good question for that candidate forum. And please remember to bring that up to those candidates, because I'm sure they'll have each candidate will have a perspective. And that's the other thing, before the candidate forum, we will send you guys all the information, furnish you via your email. So stay tuned for that. And there'll be some question cards in there that you can fill out ahead of time, so that you can remember to bring those gems to the meeting.
Comment too, beware of this, all of you. If you have questions, call the station or Buttonshawn's office. We've got one in Utica and one in Albany. So if you want that clarified, it would be almost 13% we're paying for that. 12%.
All right, folks, so Mr. Vincent has something quick for you, and then I'll turn it over to the floor. You guys can, again, please take some of those refreshments home if you hadn't had the opportunity to have some, but Mr. Vincent, go ahead.
I just wanted to bring something up at the meeting here. Joe Beatrice had to leave early, and I don't think he got a chance to talk about it. But last week, they had a zoning board meeting down at Utica City Hall. Everybody's aware about the trailers that are parked over there as you get off the thruway exit. Well, they put in a request to be able to store those there, and they were denied last month by the zoning board. They had a 30-day repeat of the zoning meeting this last Tuesday night, which I went to, and they were told they had to move 30 of the trailers in 30 days. They didn't reach that quota. So in front of the zoning board meeting this past Tuesday, of course, the fellow that is in charge of the property never showed up for it. So they declared not to give them a permit to do it, and they gave them an additional 30 days to remove every trailer out of that area. Those trailers have been here since last fall. When people started noticing them, it was right about the time all the hype was going on about the illegal aliens and everything. And everybody thought they were going to be used for housing of immigrants and things like that. And a lot of people were really upset, scared, and wondering what was going to happen. Well, as of Tuesday, they gave them a 30-day notice to get every one of those trailers out of there. And if they're not, the Corporation Council for the City of Utica told the zoning board that if they're not all out of there, the city is going to summons them to court. And those trailers will be moved eventually. Just to bring you all abreast.
Thank you. No, we appreciate the update, Ron. Thank you. And that's been, as many of you know, as you drive on northern Genesee Street there, that has been quite an eyesore. And of course, for some of our businesses who are spending a lot of money within that economic corridor, that's obviously something that the city needed to address. So thank you, Ron, for bringing us up to speed on that issue. Anybody have anything else that you'd like to mention before we formally close the meeting? Mr. Rabarski, do you have anything, sir? Mr. Gelati? Nope. Excellent. Well, thank you all for joining us and have a great evening. Thanks.